Michigan's in first, but there's a lot of basketball left to play. And the Big Ten backloaded these schedules for the big brands. They want the bigger games to be towards the end of the season when more people are watching college basketball. That's why we're seeing, that's why we've seen, for example, the three teams at the top of the Big Ten standings, Michigan, Purdue, and Michigan State, play the three easiest schedules in the conference. Michigan State being the easiest, Purdue second easiest, Michigan third easiest so far. It's backloaded, but a huge weekend in the Big Ten this weekend. Wisconsin at Purdue on Saturday. Wisconsin's a dark horse in this race, but you're certainly rooting for Wisconsin to beat Purdue if you're Michigan, based on the Big Ten title chase. And then Michigan State at Illinois, 8 o'clock on Saturday night. You obviously want Illinois to win that one. They're probably too far out of it at this point, but they're still a good team. Then on Sunday, with Michigan's chance against Ohio State. So some consequential games here this weekend as we start to ramp into that time when, you can continue talking about a championship and it gets a little bit more realistic as to who's contenders, who's pretenders, who's going to have to wait until Indianapolis in the Big Ten tournament to try to, win some hardware in the Big Ten.
Yeah, you look at this race too. I mean, another reason why it's important. I mean, I don't think it's just about anyone can beat anyone in this league. And when you look at, you got a gift the other night. You beat Purdue, so that's a win and a loss for Purdue. And then you got a gift with Michigan State losing. That could swing back pretty quickly. If Illinois loses to Michigan State or if Purdue, takes care of business against Wisconsin, and then you don't win your game against Ohio State, it could swing right back. So it's not crazy to think there's going to be a few swings like that down the stretch here these last couple of weeks. So just got to keep playing good basketball, weathering the storm. I think at this point, it seems pretty darn likely Michigan's going to be a top 4 seed heading into the Big Ten tournament, which is huge, just in terms of playing at least one less game. And last year they were a Wednesday night team. So you go from being a Wednesday night team to potentially being, the first team that plays on that Friday, which means you're the 1 seed, you won the regular season title. That's an incredible turnaround. I do see this as a 3-horse race. I'd be surprised if anyone else kind of snuck in there. Actually, at this point, and again, we know that, Michigan State we know what the narrative is with Tom Izzo and Mr. March and all of that, but I look at their schedule and it just, I could see this by the time Friday rolls around, this becoming maybe a clear 2-team race. Because you look at what they're going to play here coming up. They go to Illinois. They're going to host Purdue on Tuesday night. Then they come to Michigan. That's as tough a 3-game stretch as they could play right now, coming off of 3 losses in 4 games. So this week was huge for the race. I think by the end of next week, we're going to have a much better idea of what this thing is actually going to look like the last, 2 or 3 weeks of the regular season.
Are you counting Wisconsin out? Because I like their schedule. They only have 1, 2, 3, 4 losses, but down the stretch, they get Oregon at home, Washington at home. They're at Minnesota and they finish with Penn State at home. They're one of the front loaded schedules. So I do think those top teams right now are going to lose some, and a team like Wisconsin may just continue to win. They're playing really well.
Yeah, I think to win this league, you're going to have to probably get to 15-5. And Wisconsin's already got the 4 losses. They've got the Purdue game coming up. They've got Illinois. They still go to Michigan State. There's a chance. I think the last I checked, and again, the Vegas odds aren't the be-all, end-all, but it's like Michigan was at plus 105. Purdue was at plus 150. Michigan State was at like plus 500. And then the next closest team was Wisconsin and UCLA tied at plus 2,600. So to me, I think that lines up with the likelihood of that taking place. But no, of course they're not out of it.